Ebenezer, greetings, everyone. My name is Prophet Chike Jideonwo of the Ebenezer Ministries. So it's been a while. I last did a video. So I'll be talking about literal dreams. Literal dreams. Literal, literal dreams. You see, we have both literal dreams and symbolic dreams. Literal dreams are dreams which, of course, I can say, which are not symbolic, but no. So, literal dreams are dreams you see, and the things happen exactly the same, the way you see them. You see, my wife is a literal dreamer. Basically, all her dreams are literal dreams. Some time ago I was outside the country and she called me and said she had a dream concerning her former car, and the car was blue and all that. You see, while I was busy trying to figure it out in the spirit, I began to want to interpret the symbols. Color blue is this. She had a car with about 6 or 7 seater car. I was trying to figure things out. But then I remember that she's a literal dreamer. And I just told her, listen, you have to go for servicing for the car and do this and that. And guess what? The next day she called me and exactly what she saw concerning the car happened. All right. So literal dreams can happen almost all the time. It can be mixed. Sometimes some part of your dream can be literal and some can be symbolic. So why do literal dreams happen? You see, I've written a short note here. You see, literal dreams can be prophetic. Why am I doing this teaching? Yesterday, I had a day before yesterday, uh, just about going to bed, and I dozed off. And I saw a bike brushing or hitting my car. And I woke up instantly from the sleep. Instantly, we just said goodnight to each other, and under 4 minutes, it happened. And I woke up and I told my wife, I said, I just saw something now. She said, what? She said, but you barely just went to bed. And I said, I saw a bike is going to hit my car. And I prayed about it. Guess what? That was 3 days ago. Yesterday, last night, we were coming back with my daughter, and really, a bike man hit my car. Just a little dent on the car. It wasn't bad, But then, we were stopped there, and then people have to lift the bike out of the way. And I just had a little brush on the paint. So what am I saying? And my wife, when I got into the car, my wife said, "But you saw this exactly how you saw it." So that is a literal dream. When the dream happens exactly the way you see it, the symbols don't change. All right. So these are prophetic dreams, and mostly it talks about a future event. So it talks about something that will happen. All right. So, what are literal dreams? Literal dreams are warning. They are mostly under the warning dreams. You see, 3 weeks ago, I had another dream where I was seeing an accident on a particular road, which I applied while taking my daughter to school. What did I do? I prayed about it, but then I chose another route. Throughout that week, I did not go through because I have been warned already that this will happen here. So I followed somewhere else to take my daughter to school. And my daughter asked me, "Daddy, but why are you going through this way? It's longer." I said, "Yes, because the Lord warned me about an event here." So These are warning dreams. It can be positive and it can be negative. All right. So it comes so that you have to pray against it. That is why you see those dreams. You pray against it. Now, even if you have prayed against it, sometimes it still happens. Why? Sometimes it happens, but the effect, the consequences won't be as disastrous as if you hadn't prayed. So, car crash dreams. When you see a car crash or a car wreck, all right, mostly it can be symbolic or it can be literal. When I say symbolic, somebody met me, I think last month, and he was telling me that the wife had a dream where his car crashed completely, etc., etc. And I told him, you are not going to have an accident, but the dream is just telling you that you are going to suffer loss. Your career is going to crash, your employment and things are going to be kind of rough for some time. And guess what? Just a few weeks ago, his colleagues, I asked after the young man, and his colleagues told me that he lost his job, he lost everything, you know. So, you see, these are how literal dreams can be positive or negative, symbolic or very, very literal. So, sometimes literal dreams can happen physically, and then something similar will happen spiritually. Let's go to the book of First Corinthians chapter 15 verse 46. First Corinthians chapter 15 verse 46. What did he say? How be it that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and afterwards that which is spiritual. First Corinthians chapter 15 verse 46. What is it saying? It is saying that the spiritual does not come first. He said the physical happens, and then the physical happens, which becomes a shadow of what is going to, which becomes the shadow of the real thing that will be happening spiritually. What am I saying? Now, when you see a car wreck, now this might be telling you about something, a disaster pending to happen spiritually, your prayer life, ministry, or something is going to crash. So what happens? I just saw a vision right now. Oh, sorry, I just saw a vision right now. So a car crash, when you see that, it can be that something is going to happen in your spiritual life. So what does God do? He makes that dream happen physically first. Now you begin to be aware. Listen, it can happen that before someone dies, or before someone close to you dies, or before the individual dies, he begins to suffer some losses, financial loss. He suffers loss here and there. This is a warning that something, the devil is around the corner, because the thief comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. So what happens? You begin to suffer loss here and there. It is a signal to you that something is about to happen spiritually. Now you have to pray and get these things arrested. You see, most times also, I have observed with experience that little kids, children have literal dreams a lot more than adults. Why? I remember I was 14 years old when I saw my angel. He introduced his name. I saw it physical, not in a dream. He walked into the room and he told me, I will grow with you and call me, etc. All right. But of course, I veered off and went into the world and all that. So, and that is what diminishes literal dreams. All right. But little children, they are still very in the will of God, in the way of God. They haven't lived out their lives yet. So what happens with little children? God speaks to them literally. The way they see the dream, is the way it is. Oh, daddy, I had a dream, and a monster was chasing me. Direct. You know it is, you interpret directly. All right. So unlike adults, you have veered off, you have gone into the world, you are doing all sorts of things. So, and then the Lord will begin to use dark speeches, enigmas to speak to you instead of literal dreams. All right. So literal dreams also shows you that you are moving in the direction of God. And then literal dreams are also under the category of deja vu. Like what I told you, I said I saw a dream and I saw a bike hitting my car, and the next day really a bike hit my car, and it's like, oh, but this happened before. Guess what? Before, during the COVID, you remember the COVID time when we were all on lockdown, and I began to see series of dreams. I will see dreams where people will be queuing up. There's a huge number of persons waiting to see me one on one, to be cancelled by the prophet. What happened? And I began to see, and I began, and at a point, I saw angels, I would see ministers of God, and they will lay hands on me and said, now you go, now go into the world, and all that. Guess what is happening? Now, Tuesdays and Thursdays is when I see people. Guess what is happening? Now suddenly I'm seeing people queue up before I get to the. We usually start seeing people by 10 a.m. But right now, 9 a.m. people are there, 8 a.m. people are there, and we are there till 6 p.m. Just like I saw in the dream. These are literal dreams. All right. So um so uh uh um um, okay, I'm trying to see if I have other informations about literal dreams that I need to communicate. So literal dreams, I've said, are prophetic. It can be positive, it can be negative. It is meant for you to pray. It means it's a warning for you to pray. All right. So I hope you've learned something. While you are here, drop your comments, give me a thumbs up. It encourages one. And then um, click on the subscribe button over there, on just underneath this video. Subscribe, just click on it, and click on the notification button, so each time a video comes out, you are among the first to get it. God bless you all. My name is Prophet Chike Jideonwo of the Ebenezer Ministries, and I love you all. God bless you. Food in